I think I think we are on stage. Yeah.
Mhm.
So hello everyone. My name is Preet, and today we have a very special guest from Ukraine who is a product analyst in the world of gaming at Bini Games and a super active mentor on ADPList with over 250 plus sessions with beginners who want to start their journey as a data analyst. So before we begin, like we have a Q&A section in the Airmeet. So feel free to ask questions to Roman if you have any question, and we can cover it during this Q&A session afterwards. And I would like to welcome Roman Povzyk to the stage to give us some great tips about the data analysis. Roman, over to you.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all here. And I think that this session will be very productive, and I will try to bring some value to you. So, my session will be about my uh, passion career, about career that I pursue now. It is about data analyst position, about product analyst position, and all that connected to it. So I can talk about it for hours, but I try to be uh, more shorten and to give you a lot of stuff that you have to know if you wanted to pursue this career in future. So a little bit about myself. Yeah, I'm product analyst in company called Bini Games. It is game development company. We created mobile game application for preschool children where they can learn how to read, learn some numbers and stuff like this. I'm a switcher. I transitioned to this career 3 years ago. Previously, I work in media communications with stuff connected to Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube video productions, and so on. But then at some point in my career, I decided that I wanted to switch in tech. And as I like data a lot, as I like graph numbers and so on, I thought that it will be mm, easier and more realistic for me to try a career as a data analyst, and it was a success for me. And as 3 years ago, it was not so long ago, and I remember how hard it was to learn new stuff, to understand what I have to learn, what I don't have to learn, and to received all these rejections. It was also very hard for me, so I decided to become a mentor and help all the beginners who wanted to start career in data analytics on ADPList and also on Ukrainian platform called The Ways. And for now, for example, on ADP list, I'm in top 10 data analyst mentor, and I like help people. And one of the best news for a day always for me is when some of my mentees write to me a message about that he or she received an offer. It was wonderful. If it's happened in the morning, all my day became so wonderful and so happy. So I like these successful cases, and I work for it to be more these successful cases. Okay, so let's start about all data professions. So not only about data analyst profession, because sometimes in tech companies there are a couple of people who work with the data, and sometimes people, especially people who new in this field, can't understand what's these different roles mean. What's the role best suits for them? So a couple of people who work with data. Firstly, it's data engineers. It's someone who works with database. It's someone who try to grab data from your future company, from different resources. For example, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, all third-party applications that collect data connecting to your product, maybe your application, your sites, and then with the help of data pipelines bring it to your database. It's wonderful people. Without data engineers, it's impossible for data analysts to provide any analysis, because we haven't any data without people like data engineers. So it is common for companies to have not only data analysts for some analytics, but also data engineers, because it is valuable for collecting data that they need. About data analyst, it's like someone who work with this data to provide some insights to understand what our users do in our apps or sites and so on, who try to bring value to the company with the help of this data. And for people, for your managers, for example, like product managers or game producers, if we talk about game development, to grow our apps so that people like our apps and so on. They can make decision with the help of your analysis. Also, if we talk about data professions, there is a data scientist profession. It's in my view, it is a data analyst who learn machine learning and who can like provide machine learning algorithms on our historical data to receive new knowledge, some predictive knowledge about future, some prognosis. For example, if we have apps with subscription, data scientists could create algorithms that help predict if someone who install our apps, this person will become our subscriber or not, based on some characteristics, based on previous knowledge and so on. Its position requires a lot of math, a lot more than in data analyst position, and in my view it is harder to pursue this career, and we will not talk in future about this profession. Also, there is a data BI engineers. It's someone who have more attention on data visualization stuff, visualize your data, and not in especially product metrics and so on. So it's someone who work more with tools like Power BI or Tableau or Lookers to create beautiful dashboards. Dashboards, it's like graph that can refresh themselves on the database and provide some valuable information for people in your company without need to uh, talk with the data analyst and so on. So it's also a very valuable position. Also, ML engineer, it's someone who work with ML model, machine learning models, to provide them in production. So, for example, when you watch some YouTube video about some topic, machine learning model help you recommend another video with the same topic or maybe with the same speaker and so on. It's work with machine learning models, and it is machine learning engineer. It's someone who provide this model on this platform. Yeah, so there are a lot of profession, but we stop only on data analyst because it is my profession and I'm more familiar with it. If we talk about data analysts, especially data analysts in tech sphere, so there will be like two main professions that connect to data analytics. So firstly, it is product analyst. Product analyst is someone who work with the data with the user's data in product. So for example, someone install our application, start launch this app, and then I don't know, answer some survey, decided that he or she wants to be our subscriber and have all functions of our apps, or just look around in it, playing some games and so on. So with the help of product analysts, the product team could understand what's our users like, what they do, for example, in their first session, and how can we provide some changes for our users for this app to become better, that they wanted to spend more time in it, spend more money in it, and so on. Other kind of data analyst profession is marketing analyst. It's someone who help like marketing team, who provides different advertisement campaign for acquiring of our users. So, for example, you will see, you play in some of your apps, and then you see, for example, Duolingo, yeah. So you finish your lessons in Duolingo, and if you in free version, you will see ads maybe connected to about other apps, game apps, and so on. And it is and you can close this app, or you can click on this ads and install this app that was in ads. And then marketing analyst helps understand how much, for example, we spent $1,000 and we received $3,000 from our users that we acquire from this marketing campaign. Okay, it's wonderful, our marketing campaign good, we could spend more. And another case, we spent $1,000 and we received like $500, and it is not so successful company, and we have to shut down this marketing campaign. Yeah, so this is all the responsibility for marketing analyst, and he helps company to spend more effectively. Like when we have one effective campaign, we spend a lot in it, and if we have not effective campaign, not effective channel, we shut down it, and so on. So if you will become a data analyst in tech company, it is a lot of very high possibility that you will become product analyst or marketing analyst, and it's the tools almost the same in companies for these roles, but the data that you work with will be different, and you have to remember about it. Also, the main question that every data analyst, especially in tech company, in product company, answer, it is like two simple question: what and why. What happened with our metrics? So, for example, we have like conversion to subscription, for example, like 15%, and in some day, in some week, this conversion could drop. For example, it became 5%, and the data analyst he have to notice it very quickly with the help of SQL database, with the help of data visualization. He or she will see that something wrong with our conversion. It was 15%, now it's 5%. We have to do something. But what it is a not so hard question, because if you had some hard skills, in future it will be very easy for you to calculate these metrics, to understand how you can measure it, and so on. The hardest question from this both is why. So your product team will wait for you, not only say that something happened, something bad happened, or something good happened, but also to explain why it is happened. So maybe, I don't know, it is conversion on China, and for now it is some national holidays, and everyone goes on weekends, vacations, and so on, and didn't use our apps. Or maybe some more sophisticated explanation. For example, Apple launched new operational system like 18 OS 18, and it didn't suit well with our apps, and our apps crash because of that. People couldn't have their provide their subscription, and so on. So this is like two questions that you will work a lot. And question what will be easy for you, because after half an hour or half a year of working, you will be very freely working with product metrics and databases. But with the why question, you will learn a lot of years in future. For example, I have 3 years of experience, and sometimes it is hard for me to answer of this why question. I try to generate a lot of hypotheses why it could be, try to prove it or disprove, and so on. There is also third question: what have we do now with it? And it is like in your recommendation section after your analysis, and it is like even harder than question why, but still you have to dedicate your attention always when you work with a product as a data analyst on this what question and why question. Also, I talk about hard skills. So it's something that help you answer of this what question. So yeah, it's some technology, some tools that you need to know, that company mm, wait for you to know all this stuff, at least at some, as for junior, some basic level, and for middle or senior specialists, of course, more senior. So first of all, and the main language that you have to learn, it is SQL, structured query language. It's a very basic language that was invented in 1970s, and still to this time it's didn't change a lot in my view. and it helps you to receive data from your database, because these data engineers that helps you collect data, they provide it in form of different tables, like hundreds table, thousands table, and you have to received this data in some form, and not all this data, because there can be like terabytes or petabytes of data in your database, and you have only some fraction. For example, like our users in United States who was in our app for the last 3 days. Yeah, it's not the whole history of users in the company, and you have to use SQL for this retrieval of this information. Without SQL, you can't start any analysis if you have a database, SQL-based database, because it will be impossible. You will have any data for your analysis. It is hard to read data in form of table, because our mind didn't work that way. It is hard to notice some changes in form of tables, especially if you have tables like for million of rows and with different categories and so on. So data analysts use a lot data visualization tools. It's some very powerful tools that help you visualize data, to provide this kind of dashboards, when you can filter different data. For example, with the help of dashboards about users, I can filter that I need only people with in USA, only people from iOS platform, only people who was in our apps for the last 3 days. And with a good dashboards, I don't even have to look at the database, because I can provide see this data in the form of visualization on dashboard. So like, I think the second most valuable skill, most valuable tools for data analysts is data visualization stuff, and you have to look at it. There are like three main tools that could help you create dashboards, like Power BI, Tableau, and Looker. Sometimes beginners ask me what they have to learn from these three, and to be honest, I can't provide this answer, because it is will be like a lottery. Yeah, there are some companies that use Tableau. There are some companies that use Power BI. There are some companies that use Looker. And you have to understand that if you learn, for example, only Power BI, and you apply for some positions that require Tableau, you will be not the better, not the best candidate for this position, because maybe someone already have knowledge of Tableau, and company didn't have to learn this person from the scratch, and it is like high chances that they will continue with this candidate, not with you. So my advice: learn all this stuff, at least Power BI and Tableau, because Looker is not so popular comparing to Power BI and Tableau, but you have to learn both of them, provide some projects with both of them, and then when you receive an offer in one company, you will pay your attention to this only this tool. For example, in my case, it was Power BI. So yeah, I learned both Power BI, I learned Tableau, but then company that I received offer from working Power BI, so I dedicate all my attention, all my skills to these tools, and then forget about Tableau. If I decided to switch to other company, and this company use Tableau, okay, I learn this stuff, I remember this stuff, because I learned it previously, and provide some project in it. Yeah, so it is kind of lottery, but if you want to for your chances to be higher, learn both of them. Also, statistics. You have to learn statistics, because without it, you can't provide any analysis. Because data analytics is when you work with a lot of data, to summarize it, to aggregate it in some form. So, for example, in some way, you have to use average stuff. In some case, you have to use median stuff. In some case, you have some outliers. For example, you see that your session duration in the game 50,000 years. It will be it impossible. So it is some mistakes in data, and you have to understand how, with the help of SQL, you can provide some data cleaning, so remove some outliers, and without statistics it will be impossible. Also, product team, product companies, especially on B2C market, use A/B testing. It is wonderful instrument to understand, to see some changes based on science. And A/B testing use a lot of statistics in foundation, especially hypothesis testing. So it will be impossible for someone to work as a data analyst without knowledge of statistics. Also, work of the main goal of data analysts is to help their team to increase a good product metrics. For example, like increase our conversion, increase our retention, so the percentage of users who come back to our apps, increase our session duration. And it is impossible, in my view, to help your team increase some metrics without knowledge of what this metric is, how can you calculate are, or how can you calculate them, and you have to know all these basic, at least basics metrics so that people use. It's very comparable to product management stuff. And data analysts work with special product analysts work with product managers a lot, and it's helpful for you to watch some video about product management, to read some use cases about from different tech company. For example, Duolingo have wonderful blogs where they sometimes write down their cases about retention, about user engagement, and so on. So you have to know at least what this metric are, what is LTV, what is retention, what is ARPU, and stuff, what is conversion, and stuff like this. And last but not least, it is Python. Because it's not all Python, because it is very large programming language and with a lot of libraries and so on, but only Python that you can use for as a data analyst. It is like a couple of libraries like Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, and it helps a lot, especially when you have a lot of data, so like millions of rows, and it will be impossible for you to work with the help of Google Sheets. So you can provide some analysis with the help of Python. Also, on these QR codes, it is articles that I wrote 2 years ago, where I tried to collect all resources that I use in my learning for transition to career about data analytics. This article is in Ukrainian, but with the help of translation, you can provide. You can read it in English, and almost all of these resources that I provide there are free, and almost all of them in English, so you can use it for your value. Also, some questions that I received from beginners about AI, of course, with like possibilities that AI like remove this job or destroy a data analyst position and so on. In my view, of course, it is a possibility, but it is a possibility for every tech job. We don't know what will be in future, but still, at least for now, you have to learn how to use these AI tools for data analyst stuff. So, for example, how to use ChatGPT and their data analysis feature for it, how to use Claude, how to use Llama, I use a lot of GitHub Copilot in my SQL writing. So you have to learn this stuff. You don't have to behave like these tools doesn't exist. But don't be afraid of it. Use it a lot, learn it a lot, and try to understand where you can provide these tools in your work and be more productive in it. But except hard skills, there is some tools, some characteristics, some your skills that you should use in future for this job. Firstly, it is the ability to present your research to the team, because it doesn't matter how wonderful your analytics, how wonderful your research, if you didn't present it, if you didn't explain it to your team, it will be worthless. So you have to learn how to like provide presentation, communication, public speaking, because like your value, part of your value will be not only in this insights that you saw in the data that you find, but also how you explain it, how you present it, and so on. And right, your explanation will be to people who is not very technical, who don't know what is statistical hypothesis and so on. So your explanation have to be very simple and straightforward. So because sometimes a lot like these people haven't a lot of time, and you have to explain them, especially with these stakeholders like CEO or some top management level. So you have to explain as simple as possible, but for them to understand all this stuff. Also, as I said previously about why question, so you have to generate hypothesis why something happened, because every change, our metrics in your future product will change a lot of times every time, and you try to have to explain why it has happened, because sometimes it can be just like possibility, but sometimes there can be some reason why it is happens, and you have to at least try to understand the reasons of these changes. And you have to have the ability to dig deeper, dive deeper in problem, to spend a lot of time in some problem, even if you don't understand what happened. And like this consistency uh, helped you a lot, because not always you will find the answer or insight and so on in the first hour or in the first day of your research. But if you will be consistent in it, you have to you can solve this problem, you can answer this question, but it is require a lot of sitting and thinking. Some typical tasks that you could receive as a data analyst. For example, if like your product team will launch some new features, some for example, like in case of games, new games in our app, or maybe some new button, new subscription menu, and so on. So you as a data analyst have to design a tracking plan. So for example, if on this new button, if user click on this button, so the some amount of data have to go to our database. We call it events, and in these events, it will be some information about user, some information about our apps, and it helps with the future to understand this data behavior. Because after launch, your product team may ask you about this button. So what with this design, new design, with this button, it is better for our users, or is their behavior uh, became worse and we have to remove it, and so on. I talk about A/B testing. So a lot of, if we talk about B2C market, data analysts work a lot with designing, launching, and analyzing A/B tests, because it is, in my view, the best way to understand influence of our changes. So if this new design, or is this new button, or is this hypothesis, is this new algorithm, it's uh, better for our users or not. If we provide some new features, you always have to analyze the success of some product release of these features and understand if we have to develop this feature, it is good, and we have work on it in future, or we have to remove it and forget because it is not working, our users do not like it, and so on. Sometimes someone asks you for some additional research, some question. For example, your marketing team wanted to know what's the best characters in our apps that people in South Korea like, because we wanted to provide some advertisement campaign, and it is like ad hoc research, and you will work on it also. And I've talked about dashboards. So if you receive some question again and again, you have to create dashboards for your team, and they could uh, answer their question with the help of dashboards, but without noticing you about their question. But it is like a lot of more task than I provide here, but it's like more common tasks that you can receive. A little bit about my path. So it was when I decided to transition to data analytics, it was conscious decision to move to data analytics. I thought about it a lot, and then I decided that okay, let's dive in it. I quit my previous job. I spent 3 months of full time training. So from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Six, not even 5 day a week, but 6 day a week with Sunday as a weekend. I learned all this stuff that I talked previously, like SQL, Power BI, statistics, product metrics, Python, and so on. And I track my time. So it took me almost 500 hours for these 3 months, like with concentrate learning, and it became a possibility for me. Of course, I received a lot of rejections. because I was new in this sphere, and nobody wants to hire someone without any experience in data analytics in my country, and I think in all over the world. So I tried to gamify these rejections. So I decided that I have to collect 100 rejections, and after that, I maybe became a little bit sad. But before this time, it was like it will be like a game for me. And I received 22 rejections before I received my offer, the offer with the company that I like a lot, and decided to accept this offer. So it was if was like in a game, so it was easier for me. And of course, I work in with my pet projects on my pet projects with the different analysis, with different dashboards, because it's a wonderful way not only learn by doing, but also to showcase your skills, the stuff that you can provide as a value for the company in future. So my advice is always work when you learn something, always try to create some little project with the help of this new knowledge, and it will be much valuable and useful for you to learn with this project oriented stuff. But if I'd start today, not 3 years ago, I uh, done something different. For example, I tried to find some mentors who can help me, because at that time I didn't know about ADPList. It was on the web at that time, but I don't know about it, and on about many other interesting mentorship platform. So try to use this platform as much as possible. Try to talk with people who already work on these jobs that you wanted to pursue. Also, I believe in micro community, so it's like community of 2 3 people who connect from time to time on online meetings and share some news, try to be a supportive group for each other, maybe some provide some mock interview with each other. It helps a lot, and I see with my mentees sometimes they connect in some micro community, and even I have a case when with this micro community when one mentee received an offer. She started working at the company, and then asked as the referral when there became open position in her company. Uh, Another mentee from this micro community applied as a referral from this first mentee. Yeah, so micro community is very powerful stuff. Try to not only learn by yourself, but find some others, at least 1 or 2 3 people who also on this path, and to try to connect with them and work with them. Also, as I said, mock interview or test interview, it is also valuable tool because it helps you train yourself without in some safe space, without high stakes of rejections and so on, and it helps a lot. I had a YouTube channel. I will give a link at the end, and on this YouTube channel there are some mock interview in English with the data and future data analyst, so you can look how it's going and so on. Also, I believe in networking, so try to build a network with analysts, with recruiters. It helps a lot in your future, and to try work with the media visibility. So post on blogs or maybe like social media, LinkedIn's, YouTube, and so on. Try to showcase you as an active person, as an active future analyst. It also helps with this productivity stuff. A little bit about this profession. So why I believe it is wonderful profession for you. First, it is good salary, and it is good in different in every country, every continent, and also these tools that I talked previously, like SQL, Power BI, Tableau, statistics, Python. It's identical in all over the world. So I don't know, in USA, in United Kingdom, in Germany, in Japan, there are people use SQL, people use Power BI, Tableau, Looker, people use statistics because it's common for all over the world. And if you learn some stuff in your country, you can apply this knowledge in other. And if it's remote position, you can work for different country and receive a good salary. I believe the demand remains still on data analyst position, on data position in general. Product mindset that you received working with product metrics helps you in your life. For example, this concept like MVP, this concept like measuring what matters, this concept of metrics that you have to calculate to know how it is going, and so on. It helps not even in your work, but with achieving your personal goals. And analyst, it is there are people who like very data driven, very goal oriented, and product mindset is part of this secret sauce for it. And as a product analyst, as a data analyst, you have very big impact on the product because based on your analysis, based on your research, product managers or top management make some decisions, valuable decisions. And after these decisions, if you research correct, you will see some impact on products, some maybe average check growth, some average users duration growth, and so on. So it is very quick feedback loop, and it is wonderful for someone who wanna make some impact on stuff. But there is some cons of data analyst position. For example, if you work as a data analyst on some big successful product, on some big successful company, you have a responsibility for this product, for like revenue of company and so on. As a data analyst, it is like common that you know how much money earn this product, and you can calculate how much money it earns in a day, and you can calculate if your analysis, if your research will be wrong, is if there will be some mistake, and people make decision based on this analysis, based on this research. So what will be the loss for the company of revenue, and so on. So you have to pay a lot of attention for it, and it is hard, especially constant concentration, because data analyst jobs like analysis, research, it's not something that you can provide on autopilot. You have to you have to concentrate a lot. You have to pay attention to your numbers, pay attention to your recommendations, to your conclusion, and it is hard to pay attention 8 hours straight. Yeah, so sometimes people have some burnout as a consequence of this responsibility, of this constant concentration stuff, and so on. But still, I believe that it is wonderful profession. It is very interesting profession. It is like a possibility to become some detective stuff, I don't know, like Sherlock Holmes or Hercule Poirot, and so to because someone sometimes people your team ask you about to find so what happened in this stuff, why we have like some, I don't know, like conversion drop or average check drop and so on, and you try to dig in data to understand it, to look on it with different from different angle, and some in a lot of tries you will find the answer, you will understand the reason, and it is wonderful feeling when you like saw this insight, saw this solution. Yeah, it's one of the wonderful moments of the day for me. But if you would like to start in the data analytics, what I advise for you to do: firstly, master the basic discipline. So this stuff that I said, like SQL, Power BI, statistics, and so on. So it is the basics that you have to learn. Also, my advice: research some job positions that open in your country, maybe in your city, to align it if it's correct with like common jobs all around the world. If it's different, if it's really these tools will use in these positions. Also, try to work with some data sets. There is a site called Kaggle, wonderful site with a lot of data sets on every topic that you could imagine. So you can bring to download this data set and provide some analysis by yourself. Create some projects that helps you to upskill yourself and to showcase them in your CV for your future recruiters and hiring managers. And to try to, I think that the best way to understand your current level is apply on some positions and receive feedback. And this feedback from these 22 rejections that I received previously, it was very valuable, because I understand my weakest point. For example, my weakest point was statistics, because I didn't learn it in university. And for that moment, I understood that, okay, I have to read some books, I have to finish some courses in statistics to understand this concept. Yeah, and this feedback was very valuable for me. Also, I advise you to click on to use this QR code on my YouTube channel, where I have like 11 mentorship session in English from ADPList with different people. Some of them are like mock interviews, some of them like in form of question answer about data analyst profession, about data analyst tool, and so on. So I always like when it is when I can bring value not only to one person but to others person. For example, like this mock interview, we received 3,000 views, so it's like thousands of people who watch it and receive some value and understood how mock interview in data analysis looks like. So use it, watch it, and if you like it, provide some comments. I will be happy to read and answer it. Yeah. Also on this QR code, there are another article about oh, thanks for comment. Yeah, about who is a product analyst, especially in game development, but it's the same in every product tech company, and how to become product analyst. It's this article also in Ukrainian, but also with the help of Google Translation in your browser, or with the help of some LLM tools. It is very easy to translate it in English and read. There are not only my view, but view for some of my colleagues from different game development company, and we provide, I think, like good summary about also about tools, about pros and cons of this profession, and my advice for you to look at it, because it is very brief explanation about this profession. Yeah, and if you have some question, I will be happy to answer them now. But if you will watch it maybe as a recordings, or maybe you too shy to ask your question with the audience, you can write to me on LinkedIn. I will be happy to answer your question in the future, or you can book a session with me on ADPList. I will be glad to talk to you there and maybe discuss some your fears, doubts, connecting to data analyst profession. Yeah, I always wanna for people who would like to pursue this career but afraid, because I don't know, they maybe don't know anyone who work in this field. As I 3 years ago, I haven't anyone who was a data analyst, and it was for me like, I don't believe that you could earn money only with the help of math and with the help of data. It looks very good to be true. Yeah, so if you will have question like this in future, feel free to reach to me on ADPList or LinkedIn. I will be glad to help you, to provide you some additional information maybe that I didn't cover during this lecture, but that was very interesting for you. So I will be waiting for you on ADPList. But for now, if you have some question, let's talk about it.
Okay, so we have one question.
Mhm.
So we'll put that on stage so everyone can see it. So the question is, which data
Which deposition
are
are more needed in the market? I believe I see like my country, Ukraine, so I look a lot on Ukrainian market, but I also look at European market, sometimes look at USA market. Uh, I believe that product analyst is someone who is, especially if we talk about tech companies that create their own product, because there are like outsourcing company and product company, and data analyst is more in need with product companies that create their own applications, their own e-commerce sites, their own desktop application, and so on, because data analyst helps this company to grow their develop product, growth it, and so on. Because with outsourced stuff, some company provide some projects for client, and then this company give this project to client, and it is always the case that data analyst works on the client's project, not with this outsourced companies that's just created the project. So in my view, it is product analyst positions that are more in need on the market, because we always wanted to know what's our customer, customers of some product, how they use our product, what they like in it, what they didn't like, and so on. And if product became successful and bring more customers, more money from the subscription or transaction or advertisement, it is more product analysts that need for this product to help develop more and more and so on, to provide more A/B testing and stuff. It's like spiral. Yeah. Also, I believe that marketing analysts, especially in on the hard market, also they're someone who needs for company, because if budgeting became lower, we need to spend more effectively, and marketing analyst is someone who help company to spend effectively, who would predict the revenue from our users that we acquire, who try to understand what's the ROI from different channels, it is like eyes from for a marketing team, someone who like deep dive in the data and who can answer the question about effectiveness of marketing campaign. But still, if we compare marketing analyst position and product analyst position, it is like, in my view, it is product analyst positions that more in demand, because is like well, for every company that have their product and this product like successful, they need product analyst, a lot of product analysts to uh, have this advantage to like have this consistent success and to grow their product for more growing in the future.
Okay. So I think we have one more question.
Mhm.
I'll put that in front. Yep. So the question
But
is,
as
what
what
essential skill someone should focus on when transitioning into data analyst portfolio? Yeah.
Yeah, it's let's dive it into blocks, divide it into blocks. So first, it's hard skills. So it is these skills that I talked previously. So firstly, SQL. It is the main tool, the main programming language that you have to know as a data analyst, because it is impossible for you to do anything without SQL. Then it will be some data visualization stuff. Tableau, Power BI, Looker, because it also very hard for you to understand data from database even with the help of SQL without visualizing it, without provide some, I don't know, light chart, pie chart, bar chart, and some basic stuff. It is much easier for our brain to understand, to see some trends, some changes in a year, for example, and so on. Statistics is also valuable for this stuff. Product metrics and Python. But Python, my advice is for you, if you receive some rejections, and these rejections will be only because you didn't know Python previously, you have to learn Python. Before that, try to pay attention to this stuff like SQL, data visualization, statistics, products metrics, but without Python. Because in the Pareto principle, when we spend 20% effort to receive 80% of results, it is like Python that we could remove from our educational plan. But then, if you understand that okay, it is very valuable for you, maybe in your city or your country, Python is very in need, you have to learn it. But it is hard skills, and there are also soft skills that you have to develop in yourself. So it is, as I said, communication and presentation. Even, for example, when you work on your home test assignment for a company, my advice is try to record your explanation. So if in case that you present this home test assignment to your managers on some meetings, So just use I don't know, like Loom or StreamYard or any tools that help you record video and share your screen and explain it, and it will be very positive. Because your future managers or someone who will review this home test assignment, he or she could understand, I don't know, like your level of English, for example, or how you explain some stuff. This is simplicities that I think, how technical or how like straightforward you explain it. Is it based to the roots to the problem, or you try to explain all steps that you done previously and it take half an hour for you to explain some things that have to explain for 5 minutes. So communication and public speaking is very valuable. Also, I believe in proactivity. It is like some skills that need for every technical position, in my view. But for data analysts, it has to be someone who is proactive. Because, for example, if you will see some problems in your data, you are someone who have to like alarm it to your product managers, to your developers, to your quality assurance engineers, and so on. Or, for example, if you provide some analysis, some research, and your stakeholders disagree with you, and they want to make decision not based on your analysis, you have to be proactive to prove it, to find good reasons and so on, to like support your product, because you are like the supporter. Your the health of your product, the longevity of your product is uh, key to your good well-being, because with this product fail, you will be without jobs, and so on. Yeah, so proactivity, in my view, it's very valuable. And also, like I talk about communication in case of explanation your analysis, but also communication in case of teamwork. Because as a data analyst, it's not a profession when you all day work with your research. In my view, like 25% of my time I spent on meetings with other people, not only with analysts, but with product managers, with quality assurance engineers, with developers, with project managers, and with marketing team, and so on. So you have to connect with this, talk with them correctly, like with goal orientation. And it's also this teamwork also valuable for data analysts. Even if 75% of my time I spent on research, I spent on analysis, still this 1/4 of my work time I have to spend in communication, and it have to be health communication. And not all people like use these health communications and so on. So I think like hard skills, this instrumentation that you have to learn to be able to answer on this what question, what happened, and these soft skills that also can help you to explain, to answer this on this why question and what we have to do with all this stuff. Yeah, so this.
Okay, I think uh, we have pretty much it. That's it.
Mhm.
Uh, Yep. So yeah, it was a really insightful session, and thank you so much for giving all your inputs around like how someone can translate to the data analyst. And it's I hope everyone in the audience they found it insightful. And I posted a couple of links in the chat, so feel free to check out his YouTube channel, and he has done the videos and specific playlist between both uh, the languages. So I have
Yeah,
put
yeah.
the one which is in English in the chat bot and chat box, and then also put the LinkedIn profile and ADPList profile. So feel free to book this session with him for
Yeah,
more
thanks,
better
thanks
insight
a
based
lot.
on what you're looking for. Yeah,
Yeah,
no
so
worries.
it was pleasure to share my knowledge, my experience. Yeah, and if we will talk with someone from this audience in the future, I will be glad for it. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Thank you so much, Roman, for your time, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session.
Yeah, goodbye.
Thank you. See ya. Bye bye. Good night.